Hey everybody, so a bit of a late night last minute video here. RKC tuning in. Had a urgent question from one of you guys, and I don't think I've actually made a video that you can scroll through my page and work out how to do this. So let's just do it together. I'm going to make a chain selector now with an instrument rack, and this is if you've got multiple MIDI sounds and you've already pre-armed all your channels, and when you play that MIDI controller you don't want it to play 7 or 8 sounds at the same time, if that makes sense. So let me just quickly demo the problem. So the problem would be, say, if you've got one of these, and then we've got also, let's do another MIDI track, Apple Shift T, and then we've got let's just say another flute here, and then we've got one more, whatever, let's just say this one. I don't even know what it sounds like, but that's all good. And then we're going to be playing these 3 instruments with the same controller. So they're all going to, and we don't want to pre-arm and re-arm throughout performance. So they'll all be armed. So 1, 2, 3. But obviously now if we play it, it's going to play all 3 instruments at the same time, which is not cool. So there's a little way around this, and this is what we can do. We can build a chain selector. So I'm going to build now a new MIDI track here, and we're going to load in something called an instrument rack. So let's find it. Here it is, instrument rack. Just going to open it all up here so you can see. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring those 3 sounds into my instrument rack. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to put it in here. Paste. Cool. And then I'm going to copy my flutes, or I can drag them in again. And then I'm going to copy my nebulae. Copy and paste. And let's pull that in here now as well. And then all of a sudden, I've got 3 of the instruments in the same track. So now we can de-arm all of these. And obviously, if we arm this now and we play this, it's going to play all 3 sounds at the same time, which we don't want it to do. That's the same problem. So now I'm going to go to chain, and then this is where it's pretty cool. What we can do is we can select the CC notes for each one. So the nebulae we could have on 0 to 16, and the flute 2 hard we could have on the next 16 here. And then we've got our beautiful saxophone winds, and we could bring that there. And then now if I click map, and I'm going to right click here, and I'm going to map this to macro 1. And let's see what happens. Ta-da! And then if we move our chain selector, it's going to change those notes. So if we start here, it's going to hear the first sound. We start here, we're going to use the second sound. We start here, we're going to use the third sound. And guess what happens now if I press Apple M? Oh no, wrong one. If I press Apple M, MIDI map, and we can map this to whatever controller we may be using. So I don't have one plugged in right now, but obviously I could map this to absolutely anything, and then I can easily select which sound I want to play live on stage with just 1 track armed and without having to play 7 tracks at a time. Now, if you do want to loop up the sounds here, we obviously don't want to have multiple instrument racks, because that's going to, add to our CPU. So I don't actually do this because I don't loop MIDI, but this is how I would do it. I would then create some audio tracks, and I would set the input for the audio tracks to be number 13 instrument rack. And then I can arm all of these. And same thing, set the input as the instrument rack. There it is. And then we can choose the sound we want to use. Whatever one it might be. And then we hit record and loop that up with audio. And if you're playing stodgy, guys, look what else you can do here. Record quantization. So this is pretty cool. You could put a quarter note, 8th note, or 16th note on. So that means when you play it, even though it's being recorded as audio, it's being quantized while you're being recorded. So yeah, cool. There's a chain selector. I hope that helps, and I hope that was an interesting midnight tip for you all. I'm off to Amsterdam tomorrow. I just want to say thanks so much for your patience, guys. It's been so crazy with the album. But I'm looking forward to coming back with some really exclusive stuff for you guys. And please shout me out if you'd like any stems from the record, microphones, or any Ableton projects. Give me a shout and I'll fire them over to you. I love you guys. Good night. Lots of love. RKC.